Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a really profound new way of seeing neurodivergent children. We're going to move beyond seeing them as a list of challenges that need to be managed, and instead see them as these sensitive, bioelectric beings with just incredible potential that's waiting to be unlocked. It's a shift from a story about deficits to a story about innate, powerful intelligence. So let's explore what that really means. So for a child with both autism and ADHD, what's often called AuDHD, life is this constant internal negotiation. You can think of it as a push-pull between two really powerful and often competing drives. On one side, you have the autistic drive, which is always seeking stability and predictability. It wants to minimize any kind of surprise or error from the environment. But on the other side, you've got the ADHD drive, which just thrives on new things, on stimulation, just to stay engaged.
Now, you can imagine, this internal tug-of-war between wanting calm and needing stimulation, it often leads to a lot of struggle and even burnout. But here's the big question. What if we've been looking at this from completely the wrong angle? What if the issue isn't some flaw inside the child, but a fundamental mismatch between their neurobiology and the world we're asking them to live in?
To really get to the solution, we first have to be crystal clear on the problem. So let's take a look at how our conventional environments can, without us even realizing it, create a state of chronic stress for the AuDHD mind. Think about most schools. They're built on this foundation of top-down teaching, super rigid schedules, and a big emphasis on obedience. But for a kid who's already navigating that inner push-pull, this kind of environment is just neurologically misaligned. The constant sensory assault, the buzzing fluorescent lights, the chaotic noise of the hallways, combined with the pressure to sit still and perform, it forces them to suppress their body's own signals just to cope. And honestly, that isn't learning. It's just survival. Okay, so that's the problem. That's the old story. Now let's pivot to the new science that completely reframes how we understand the human body, and wow, does it offer a powerful new path forward. For centuries, the tissue you're looking at here, it's called fascia, was pretty much just dismissed in anatomy labs. It was considered biological packing material, the stuff you cut away to get to the important parts. But we now know it's something absolutely extraordinary. What's so amazing about this image is that it shows fascia for what it is, a dynamic, living web that connects every single part of us. Scientists now call this incredible network the living matrix. Why? Well, it turns out that its main protein, collagen, actually has semiconductor properties. So this matrix acts like a living biological circuit board. It's a body-wide system that can store and rapidly transfer electrical charge, which means our body isn't just a collection of parts. It's a single, integrated, electrically conductive whole. And this understanding of the living matrix, it just changes everything. It gives us this brilliant new perspective. We stop seeing a child as a set of disconnected symptoms, and we start seeing them as a sensitive, interconnected, bioelectric being. They're like a finely tuned antenna that perceives everything in their environment, both the stressful stuff and the calming stuff, with an incredible intensity. So, with this new understanding of the bioelectric child, the solution becomes beautifully clear. Instead of trying to force the child to fit into an environment that doesn't work for them, we have to design an environment that works with their biology. And we can do this through 4 fundamental pillars of regulation.
The first pillar is nature. It's so simple, yet so powerful. When we make direct physical contact with the Earth, you might have heard it called grounding or earthing, our body literally plugs into the planet's global electrical circuit. This allows a transfer of free electrons, which acts like a potent antioxidant, reducing inflammation and profoundly stabilizing the entire nervous system.
Second up is movement. Our living matrix is what's called piezoelectric. Now that's a bit of a sciencey word, but all it means is that when we stretch or put pressure on our bodies by moving, we literally generate an electric charge. These little electrical signals then travel all throughout the body, improving how our cells talk to each other and helping to release stored up stress and trauma. The third pillar is sound, and it acts as this incredible form of cognitive scaffolding. Through a process called brainwave entrainment, rhythmic sounds can literally sync up the brain's electrical activity. Think of it like a conductor for the brain's orchestra. The right frequencies can actually guide the brain away from being hyper-aroused and into a state of calm, focused alertness. And finally, our fourth pillar is light. Just like sound, rhythmic light can also entrain brain waves. But even more fundamentally, just getting exposure to natural daylight is absolutely crucial for regulating our internal clocks, our mood, and our overall cognitive state. It's a really powerful tool for resetting an overstimulated nervous system. Okay, so we've got these 4 amazing pillars: nature, movement, sound, and light. But how do these actually help a child in their day-to-day life? Well, it all comes down to their nervous system state, because that is the gateway to everything, especially learning.
So, according to something called polyvagal theory, our bodies are constantly scanning our environment for cues of safety or danger. We're always moving up and down this autonomic ladder, shifting between three main states. At the top, there's a calm, connected state. In the middle, there's a mobilized fight-or-flight state. And down at the bottom, there's a collapsed, shut-down state.
And the difference this makes in a child's life, it is night and day. This chart really highlights it. A child at the top of the ladder, in that safe, connected state, is calm, creative, and totally ready to learn. But a child who's stuck on those middle or bottom rungs is in a state of survival. All their brain's resources are being pulled away from higher-level thinking, which makes learning pretty much impossible. So here's the crucial point, the real takeaway. The 4 pillars, nature, movement, sound, and light, they are the tools we can use to help a child climb back up that ladder. They provide these predictable, regulating environmental inputs that basically send a signal of safety to the nervous system, and that's what allows a child to get back online and access their amazing higher-order thinking.
And this is where it gets really exciting. Because when a child is consistently supported and feels safe in their own biology, something absolutely incredible happens. Their true, unique intelligence doesn't just recover. It begins to emerge in these powerful new ways.
This is the ultimate goal, really. It's about nurturing the conditions for what's called polymathic synthesis. This is the moment where that AuDHD push-pull we talked about at the very beginning stops being a conflict and actually becomes a superpower. It's this beautiful integration of the autistic ability to tunnel deep into a subject, combined with the AuDHD ability to branch wide across totally different fields. And the result is a brilliant, nonlinear, systems-thinking mind.
At the end of the day, this isn't about fixing a deficit. It's about trusting the inherent wisdom of the bioelectric child and creating an environment where their true nature can just flourish. By shifting our whole perspective from managing behavior to nurturing biology, we give them the foundation they need to grow, to know, and to glow from within. And it really leaves us with a powerful question, doesn't it? What could be possible if we saw every child this way?